When people think of New York, most imagine the dazzling lights of Times Square, towering skyscrapers, or the restless energy of a city that never sleeps. But few realize that beneath this glittering surface lies a much darker past, one haunted by cursed castles, hotels filled with lost souls, and cemeteries where whispers of the dead still linger through the night. From the bustling streets of Manhattan to the quiet lakeside towns, New York is steeped in chilling tales passed down for generations. The spirits of artists, soldiers, and those who met untimely ends still wander, making it one of the most haunted states in America. In today's video, we'll uncover 10 of the most infamous haunted locations in New York, from grand castles hiding sinister secrets to lavish hotels where children's laughter still echoes after dark. And you'll come to realize that New York is not just the city of dream, but also a land where nightmares never truly end. 1. The Dakota, Manhattan. In New York City stands a building that is both elegant and haunting. The Dakota, located at the corner of Central Park West and 72nd Street. From the outside, it looks like a Gothic castle with pointed turrets, intricately carved windows, and a heavy archway that resembles the entrance to a medieval fortress. But behind that dark beauty lies a history filled with ghosts. The Dakota is most infamous for a tragic event on December 8, 1980. John Lennon, legendary member of the Beatles, was assassinated right in front of its gates. It's said that since then, Lennon's spirit has never truly left. Many residents and security guards have reported seeing his figure lingering near the entrance, his gaze calm and gentle, as though still watching over his wife, Yoko Ono. She herself once claimed she encountered Lennon as a bright apparition seated at his familiar piano, softly telling her, "Don't be afraid. I am still here." But Lennon is not the only ghost said to haunt this building. Decades before he ever lived there, residents whispered about the little man, a short, ghostly figure in a long coat, seen wandering the hallways before vanishing the instant you blink. Others have reported hearing the laughter of unseen children echoing from empty rooms, or the heavy footsteps of someone walking up the stone staircase when no one was there. No one knows for sure why the Dakota is so saturated with supernatural energy. Some believe it was built on land with a dark past, once used for mysterious rituals. Others suggest that the sheer presence of so many artists' sensitive souls, often marked by tragedy, has somehow anchored restless spirits to the building. Whatever the reason, when night falls and the wind howls across Central Park, the dimly lit windows of the Dakota's Gothic facade look like eerie eyes, watching every passerby. And one chilling question lingers: could it be that Lennon, along with countless other spirits, still resides here at the crossroads between musical glory and eternal shadow? 2. Hotel Chelsea, Manhattan. If the Dakota is tied to the lingering presence of John Lennon, then Hotel Chelsea is regarded as the living graveyard of art and tragedy. Located on West 23rd Street in Manhattan, this red brick Victorian Gothic building once housed legendary names Bob Dylan, Patti Smith, Leonard Cohen, and even Jack Kerouac. Yet beneath that artistic brilliance lies a blood-stained and ghostly history. The hotel is most infamous for the Sid Vicious case of the Sex Pistols. In 1978, his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen, was found dead in room 100 with a fatal stab wound. Sid was charged with murder but died of a drug overdose soon after. It's widely believed that Nancy's spirit never left. Many visitors claim to hear her sobbing and agonized screams coming from the locked room. even though it has long been sealed. But Nancy is far from the only ghost. Guests have reported seeing the figure of a woman in a long white dress standing in the third-floor hallway, her hollow eyes fixed on passers-by. Others recall hearing the clacking of typewriter keys in a room once occupied by writer Dylan Thomas, despite no typewriter being inside. Chelsea Hotel seems to hold on to the souls of those who once lived, created, and died within its walls. Artists who poured their lives into raw emotion may have left behind an energetic imprint too powerful to fade. The result is a building that feels like a time capsule where music, art, and death blend into one, forming a spectral symphony that reverberates through its aging corridors. Today, the hotel has been renovated, with many rooms converted into upscale apartments. Yet visitors still swear that when night falls, Chelsea's hallways turn unnaturally cold and you can feel someone walking just behind you, whispering words that were never fully written. 3 Rolling Hills Asylum, East Bethany. Hundreds of miles west of New York City, amid the windswept fields of East Bethany, stands a place once known as Rolling Hills Asylum. First opened in 1827 as a poorhouse, a shelter for the poor, the homeless, the mentally ill, and society's outcasts, it quickly descended into a living hell. Thousands of men and women lived, died, and were forgotten within Rolling Hills. Its crumbling brick walls and long, shadowed corridors bore witness to countless nameless deaths, and perhaps because of that, their energy has never truly left. One of the asylum's most famous spirits is Roy Krause, a giant of a man nearly 7 feet tall, about 2.1 meters, who was abandoned there as a child. Though remembered as a gentle soul in life, Roy is said to still roam the hallways after death, sometimes appearing as a towering shadow figure that chills witnesses to the bone. Visitors claim to hear his heavy footsteps and deep sighs echoing through the dark, even when no one else is there. But Roy is not alone. Many have reported hearing screams, desperate pleas, and faint moans as though the trapped souls are still caught in the torment of their confined lives. Electronic voice phenomena (EVP) recordings from the asylum often capture strange whispers, sometimes only a single chilling word, help. Those who've taken part in Rolling Hills' infamous night tours describe unforgettable encounters, doors slamming shut on their own, objects shifting across the floor, and the sensation of an icy hand resting on their shoulder while standing completely alone. Some even swear they've seen a massive shadow figure looming at the end of a hallway only to vanish in the blink of an eye. Today, Rolling Hills Asylum has become a pilgrimage site for paranormal enthusiasts. Yet with every step through its pitch-black corridors, you can't shake the feeling that hundreds of unseen eyes are watching. And one haunting question lingers: is this place merely preserving history? Or is it imprisoning the souls of the unfortunate, forever unable to escape? 4. Amityville Horror House, Long Island. Perhaps no house in New York is more famous or infamous than the Amityville Horror House. Standing on Ocean Avenue in the town of Amityville, Long Island, the white wooden home with its 2 crescent-shaped windows like sinister, glaring eyes has become an icon of fear in popular culture. The story began in the early hours of November 13, 1974, when Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally murdered 6 members of his own family as they slept. The shocking crime horrified the entire community. But the terror didn't end there. Just 1 year later, the Lutz family moved into the house and fled only 28 days later. According to their accounts, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children endured a barrage of horrifying phenomena, foul odors spreading through the house without any source. Green slime oozing from the walls. The sound of heavy footsteps pounding up and down the staircase every night, and doors slamming open on their own. George even claimed he would wake up at exactly 3 to 15 a.m., the precise time the murders had occurred. One particularly chilling detail was the appearance of a so-called demonic entity with glowing red eyes. One of the Lutz children reported seeing a huge pig-like creature staring at them through the window, its eyes blazing like fire. Later, during investigations, a photograph was taken showing the ghostly image of a young boy with glowing eyes, a picture that remains hotly debated to this day. Though skeptics argue that the Lutz story was exaggerated or even fabricated for profit through books and films, the Amityville Horror House continues to exert a terrifying allure. Countless novels, movies, and TV shows have cemented its place as one of the most infamous haunted houses in the world. Today, the house has had its windows remodeled to draw less attention, and its newer owners insist they live there peacefully. But for those who believe the Lutz family's account, the Amityville Horror House remains cursed, a place where crime and darkness intertwined, leaving a permanent scar on America's supernatural history. 5. Fort William Henry Museum, Lake George. On the scenic shores of Lake George, an old fortress still stands, a grim witness to an era soaked in blood. Fort William Henry, built in 1755 during the French and Indian War, is now a museum that draws countless visitors. By day, you can hear costume guides retelling the battles, the echo of cannons rolling across the mountains and forests. But once the sun sets, the fort takes on another face, shadowy, haunted, and alive with restless spirits. In 1757, the fort was besieged by French forces and their Native American allies. After days of resistance, thousands of British troops were forced to surrender. Yet instead of mercy, many were brutally massacred just outside the fortress walls. Their blood seeped into the earth, and perhaps that ground has never known peace since. Visitors and museum staff often recount strange occurrences. The sound of boots stomping across wooden floors in empty rooms. Apparitions of 18th century soldiers pacing the battlements, vanishing before the eyes of onlookers. Some even report the strong scent of gunpowder lingering in the air, though no weapon has been fired. One of the most chilling phenomena is the faint groaning of dying soldiers. On night tours, guests have sworn they heard agonized screams echoing out of the darkness, raising goosebumps on everyone present. Paranormal investigators have recorded unusual EMF spikes and captured glowing anomalies with infrared camera, signs that the souls of the fallen may still linger within the fort's stone walls. Today, the Fort William Henry Museum serves both as a site of historical importance and as one of New York's most renowned paranormal hotspots. And when you stand in the courtyard at night, listening to the wind whistling through the cracks in the stone, you can't help but wonder, is it just the wind or the voices of soldiers still whispering from the past? 6. Belhurst Castle, Geneva. On the shores of Seneca Lake in Geneva, New York, stands a castle of romantic beauty yet chilling presence, Belhurst Castle. With its Gothic stone architecture and moss-covered walls, it was once a luxurious retreat for the wealthy elite. But behind its historic charm lies a dark legend, tied to a ghost that still roams its silent corridors. The most often told story is of Isabella, a Spanish noblewoman from the 19th century. It's said she fled to America with her lover and hid away in Belhurst Castle. But their love ended in tragedy. Isabella died suddenly, and rumors claim she was entombed within the very walls of the castle. Since then, both guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in a long white gown, her hair flowing, drifting silently through the halls before vanishing as if she were never there. Some visitors have heard footsteps on the stairs at midnight, or muffled sobbing echoing from empty rooms. Others insist they've seen Isabella's figure standing by the windows overlooking Seneca Lake, as though she still waits for the lover who never returned. But Isabella may not be the only restless spirit. Belhurst Castle was once home to a secret gambling den where ruthless men gathered. Some say the souls of those who died in games of chance and violent disputes also remain trapped within its stone walls. Today, Belhurst Castle has been transformed into a hotel and winery, welcoming guests from around the world. Yet many who spend the night claim that, despite the luxurious rooms and soft beds, they feel an invisible chill like someone watching from the shadows. And when the wind whistles through the old stone towers, more than a few shiver, wondering could that be the breath of Isabella, the woman who has never been allowed to rest. 7. St. Mark's Church in the Bowery, Manhattan. In the heart of bustling Manhattan, surrounded by modern skyscrapers and rushing crowds, stands one of the city's oldest churches, St. Mark's Church in the Bowery. Built in the late 18th century, the church carries a solemn beauty, like a time capsule preserving the earliest memories of New York. But it isn't just memories that remain here, it's also the spirits. The most famous ghost tied to the church is believed to be Peter Stuyvesant, the last Dutch governor of New Netherland, a stern man who ruled the land before it became New York. Stuyvesant died in 1672 and was buried in the churchyard. Yet, it seems he never truly left. For centuries, parishioners and visitors have reported hearing heavy footsteps echoing through the main hall, along with the distinct sound of a cane striking against wooden floors, the trademark of Stuyvesant, who walked with a limp due to an old injury. Some claim to have seen the figure of a man in a dark cloak, standing tall in the churchyard, only to vanish into thin air. But Stuyvesant is not alone. Visitors have described whispers during prayer, as though centuries of history were speaking all at once. Others mention the eerie sensation of being watched, even in an otherwise empty room. Perhaps the most chilling tales are of the church bell. More than once, it has rung out in the dead of night with no one pulling the rope. Many believe this is Stuyvesant himself, still exerting control over his congregation, unwilling to surrender power even in death. Today, St. Mark's Church continues to host services and artistic events, yet with every gust of wind across the old brick courtyard, with every phantom tap of a cane against wooden floors, one can't help but wonder, is the old governor still patrolling his land, guarding the church from being forgotten? Sag Harbor, Old Burying Ground, Long Island. In the quiet seaside town of Sag Harbor, once a bustling center of the 18th century whaling industry, lies an ancient cemetery, the Old Burying Ground. Weathered sandstone headstones, many eroded beyond recognition, cluster together under the shadows of old trees. By day, the place carries a solemn sense of history. But at night, the cemetery transforms into a chilling labyrinth one no living soul wishes to walk through alone. Hundreds of sailors, merchants, and impoverished townsfolk from the 18th and 19th centuries are buried here. Many died young, lost to shipwrecks, disease, or war. Locals believe their spirits still linger, unable to find peace. Visitors often report seeing white apparitions drifting among the graves, or a hazy figure standing silently in the cemetery, vanishing the moment you blink. Some swear they've heard whispers carried on the night wind, like faint conversations of those who have been gone for centuries. Photographers and paranormal investigators frequently visit after dark. Many photos capture strange glowing orbs and shadowy forms near the tombstones. One group even reported their EMF electromagnetic field meters spiking wildly at the grave of a young sailor who died at sea. But the most unnerving phenomenon, mentioned again and again, is the way cameras and phones suddenly power off upon entering the cemetery. Their batteries drained within minutes, as if an unseen force were feeding on the energy. People believe it's the spirit's way of declaring their presence. Today, the Sag Harbor Old Burying Ground is both a historical landmark and a place that unsettles even the bravest when night falls. Beneath the thin layer of earth lie hundreds of voices, still whispering to the world and perhaps refusing ever to be forgotten. Otesaga Resort Hotel, Cooperstown. In the quiet town of Cooperstown, best known for the National Baseball Hall of Fame, stands a grand and elegant hotel, the Otesaga Resort Hotel. The massive red brick building, with its stately white columns, overlooks the serene waters of Otesaga Lake. Yet behind its luxurious facade lies a chilling history, making it one of the most famously haunted places in New York. The hotel opened in 1909, but before that, the land was home to an exclusive girls' school for the daughters of wealthy families. Many believe that its past left a lingering imprint, the spirits of children said to still wander the hotel's lavish halls. Guests and staff alike have reported hearing the laughter of children echoing late at night, especially from the upper floor where classrooms once stood. Some claim to hear the sound of a ball bouncing across the wooden floors, only to find empty, darkened rooms when they check. One of the most terrifying encounters comes when guests open their doors and see a shadowy figure standing at the foot of the bed, silently watching, before vanishing in an instant. Housekeepers have also reported feeling as though someone is following them, even when the hallways are completely empty. Paranormal investigators have captured EVP's electronic voice phenomena within the hotel. In one chilling recording, a child's voice whispers, "Play with me," while another, sounding like a faint female voice, warns, "Get out." Today, the Otesaga Resort Hotel continues to operate as a luxury destination, welcoming thousands of guests each year. But for those sensitive to the supernatural, stepping into the grand lobby brings an icy shiver down the spine. And on still, windless nights, when phantom footsteps echo along the vast corridors, one can't help but wonder, have the hotel's former residents ever truly left? 10. New York State Capitol, Albany. Located in Albany, the state capital. The New York State Capitol is not only a center of politics, but also a place haunted by the ghosts of its past. Completed in 1899 after more than 30 years of construction, the grand granite building drained such an enormous budget that it was called one of the most expensive government buildings in the United States. Yet its grandeur came hand in hand with dark stories. The greatest tragedy struck in 1911 when a massive fire broke out, destroying much of the library and thousands of invaluable historical documents. During the blaze, a young firefighter lost his life, and many believe his spirit never left. Staff members report hearing heavy footsteps echoing through the halls, or glimpsing the figure of a man in a firefighter's uniform lingering in the smoky haze, only to vanish without a trace. There are also whispers of the invisible guard. Legislators and employees claim they often feel an uncanny presence following them late at night, as though unseen sentinels still patrol the building. Chandeliers flicker on and off by themselves. Doors slam shut without reason, and heavily locked rooms are mysteriously found open, creating an atmosphere of cold dread unusual for a seat of power. Paranormal investigators have even captured EVP's electronic voice phenomena in the meeting room's faint whispers. Sometimes just a single chilling word: leave. Some believe these are not only the echoes of the fallen firefighter, but also of long-dead politician still clinging to the power they once wielded, unwilling to leave the halls where they made their decisions. Today, visitors can join night tours of the Capitol, where guides openly recount its most infamous ghost stories. And as you walk up the old stone staircases under dim yellow lights, you may feel you are not alone, as though unseen eyes are watching your every move. New York still shines bright with lights, still bustling with people day and night. But behind locked doors, in silent hallways, and beneath the cold earth of ancient cemeteries, the stories never truly end. Spirits continue to walk among us, sometimes only as a whisper in the wind, sometimes as unseen eyes watching from the dark. What makes these places so haunting is not just their history, but the feeling that they are still alive in a way we cannot yet comprehend. And the question that lingers: if this is a city that never sleeps, do its ghosts ever rest? If you've ever visited one of these places, or have your own chilling story about New York, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next journey. Because in the next video, we'll step into another land where restless spirits still linger, waiting for their stories to be told.